Good morning, students. This is Sandeep Tripathi here, and I welcome to you all my YouTube channel. Dear student, I am pleased to inform you that our study mode will be online, and I will try to give you best contents from here. I am damn sure you all will enjoy a lot over here. Our contents will be related to academic as well as professionals. So who are the parts of academy means who are the student of ICSC board, CBSE board and UP board. These contents will be more useful for them. If you have any doubts related to any topic which I am going to cover in this unit, you will make a call to me on 9889619967, or you can send your complaints or queries on my mail ID, that is your sangkp83@gmail.com. So student, are you ready to go with this? Very good. So let's begin first unit, that is about the computer. We have standard definition of the computer which I am going to tell you. Pay attention everyone. Computer is an electronic device machine which can be used for arithmetical and logical calculation. The result of processing can be stored for future use and it can be programmed according to the requirements of the user. Student, pay attention. Computer is an electronic device machine. What is it? So first you will reply, it's an electronic device machine. Now it has two types of calculation. First one related to arithmetical and second one related to logical. In arithmetical calculation, we will cover plus, minus, multiplication, division, while in logical calculation, we will cover less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or equal to. In our maths, we have two types of calculation, arithmetical and logical. So you can say both are kept in mathematical calculation, right? The result of processing can be used for future use. Whatever the result will come after processing, that can be stored for the future utilize. Suppose to be you want any information in future, suppose to be you want to see any information in future, then what you will have to do, you will have to just open the computer, open the system, and you can get the information. That's why I am giving this line. The result of processing can be stored for the future use and it can be programmed according to requirement of the user. It's very important line, student, just pay attention on this line. It can be programmed according to requirements of the user. It means whenever our requirement will come, whenever the requirement will vary, whenever the requirement will change, you will not change your computer. You will always go through the programming. Your program will meet out, your program will fulfill the new requirement. That's why I am saying it can be programmed according to the requirements of the user. So, what is it? It's an electronic device machine which can be used for arithmetical and logical calculation. We have seen in the calculation of arithmetical plus, minus, multiplication, division, while in the case of logical, we have discussed about the less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or equal to. Whatever the result will come, whatever the output will be produced, that can be stored for the future use and it can be programmed according to the requirements of the user. Is that clear? Good. Now, computer is divided into two parts. How many parts? We have two parts. First part, software, and second part, hardware. In software, I am telling you the definition of software. Student, a set of instructions program is called software. A set of instructions program is called software. So student, what we have learnt about the software? A set of instructions program is called software. Now, on the other hand, we have hardware. So the meaning of hardware is your physical components. What is it? It's a physical components, or you can say it's a tangible parts. I'm giving you example. Monitor, keyboard, CPU, mouse. All are the examples of hardware, right? Now student, I am going to tell you very important parts about the software. Actually, once we talk about the software, we try to know what is the parts of software or classifications of software. Basically, software is divided into two parts. First part, application software, and second part, system software. Are you getting my point? First part, application. Now student, we have seen software is divided into two parts, application software and system software. I am telling you we have one more software that is called utility software. So we will discuss about utility software later. First we will cover about the application software and system software. So first I am going to discuss about the application software. Application software is a set of programs which is useful for particular task, or you can say application software is a programs that is used to design a particular task, particular program like MS Word, PowerPoint, Excel and Access. Student, we have seen about the MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Access. Why I have told you it is designed for the particular task or particular job. As you know that Word is used for the documentation. We can use Excel for the calculation, PowerPoint for the presentation, while Access to design the database. Is that clear? So, application software is a set of programs which is designed for the particular job or particular task or specific task. For example, we have Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Access. Now student, on the other hand, we have system software. What we have? System software. The meaning of system software is that a program which will enable our system into working condition, or the program which will make the system into working condition, that is called system software. And we have best example of the system software, that is your operating system. I am giving you some operating system name like MS-DOS, that is called Microsoft Disk Operating System, Unix, Linux, all. MS-DOS, Unix, Linux, all are the examples of system software. Now class, just pay attention. Application software is divided into two parts. We have seen the software is divided into two parts, application software and system software. Very good. Now, application software is also divided into two parts. First one, generalized software, and second one, customized software. But we have generalized software and second one, customized software. Student, I am going to ask you some question. I am giving you some questions to you. If I ask what kind of software developed by the Microsoft, or what kind of software will be developed by the IBM, TCS and HCL, can you give the reply? No? Let me tell you. Microsoft, they develop generalized software as well as customized, both. But once we discuss about the HCL, once we discuss about the IBM, once we discuss about these types of companies, Like Infosys, Tech Mahindra Satyam, they develop only customized software. So what is the meaning of generalized software? Generalized software are developed for the majority of the clients. Majority of the clients. What is the meaning of clients, student? Who gives tasks, who gives projects, and we perform or we develop software for them. So in that sense, we will say they are client and we are user who will use the system. So the meaning of generalized software is developed for the majority of the clients, while customized software are developed for the particular client. Particular client means like banking sector. I am talking about the SDFC, I am talking about the SBI, I am talking about the ICICI. So all are the particular client. Fine. Their requirement will be different. So for them we will develop the software. I am talking about the school. So school is having the different types of requirements. So whatever software we will develop, that type of software is called customized software. Because we have customized our software, we have customized the software according to the requirements of the users. That is called customized software. So all these companies, I am talking about the SCL, TCS, IBM, Infosys, Tech Mahindra Satyam, these types of companies, they develop customized type of software. While Microsoft and other companies, they have given already generalized software, and generalized software I am giving the example, that is your Microsoft Office, which has 4 packages already: Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Access. I hope you have got about the application software as well as system software. In application software, we have covered the portion related to generalized software and customized software, right? So student, we have discussed about the computer. Computer is divided into 2 parts, software and hardware. Software is divided into 2 parts, application software and system software. I will tell you about the utility software later. And in application software, we have discussed about the generalized software as well as customized software. Now we will see the functions of the operating system. Functions of the operating systems, or you can say features of the operating system. Is that clear? Now we have the first. So student, we have to first discuss about the functions of the operating system. But before this, I would like to tell you about the operating system. Is that clear? Yes. So what is the meaning of operating system? Operating system is a software. Pay attention everyone. Operating system is a software which acts as an interface between user and computer. Operating system is a software which acts as an interface between user and computer. It manages all the resources available in the computer and it enhances the computing capability of the computer. Student, just pay attention. What is operating system? So first thing we have, operating system is a software. What is it? It's a software which acts as an interface between user and computer. It works between 2 parts. First part is the part of user and second is the part of computer. And it creates platform, it provides platform to interact with the user as well as computer. If system will not respond to you, how you will know about this? You are giving the right or wrong input. If you will not interact with the system, system will not get any information. That's why I am saying it acts as an interface. Interface means here it will provide you platform to interact between the user and computer. It manages all the resources available in the computer. Resources means peripheral devices like keyboard, CPU, mouse, printer, etc. It's a responsibility, it's a duty of the operating system to manage all these types of resources, and it enhances the computing capability of the system. What it does? It increases the computing capability of the system. So first thing, operating system is a software which acts as an interface between user and computer. It manages all the resources available in the computer and it enhances the computing capability of the computer. Is that clear? Very good. Now student, I am going to discuss with you class. So student, I am going to discuss about the functions of the operating system. I think you have cleared your doubts related to operating system. So what is the functionality? What is the functions of the operating system over here? I am telling you. First functions of the operating system to booting the computer. First functions of the operating system is your booting the computer. Do you have idea about the booting? What is booting? Anyone can tell me? Anyone? Let me tell you. Booting is the process when your system will get start. Fine? Once you switch on the computer, then it will start automatically. That process is called booting the system. That is called booting the system. And it uploads, or you can say it loads some systems files automatically, which will enable the system into working condition. So it means your system is getting ready to use. That is called booting the computer. Second, we have loading the program in the memory. Student, once we shut down our system, your system's programs or system files will enter in the secondary memory. Actually, we have two types of memory. How many types of? Two types. First one, primary memory, and second one, secondary memory. Primary memory is your temporary memory and secondary memory is your permanent memory. Primary memory is also known as main memory, or you can say it's a temporary memory. While secondary memory is your permanent memory, that is also called auxiliary memory or permanent memory. It's very important to execute any file from the system. Your file should be in primary memory because that file can be directly accessed by the processor. That's why the second functionality of the operating system to load the files into memory or to load the programs into memory. Is that clear? So first we have discussed about the booting the computer, and second one we have loading the programs in the memory. Third functionality I am going to tell you, that is called managing resources or device management. Student, if you will pay attention, as I told you, in the operating system, it manages all the resources. There is the functionality given. It managing resources, managing devices, or you can say device management. It manages all the resources, whatever resources are available, like printer, monitor, keyboard, CPU, mouse, scanner. You are using digital camera over there. So all these types of resources will be managed by the operating system, and this is called the functionality, this is called the role, or this is called the features of the operating system. Fourth one I am going to tell you, detecting and correcting errors. Detecting and correcting errors. Sometimes some problems will be encountered in your systems. While you are working with the system, suddenly some unnecessary problem, unwanted problem, or interruption will be generated over there. That type of problem resolved by the system. Means that type of problems will be resolved by the operating system. Next one we have ensuring data security or security and protection. Whatever information you will store in your system, our primary job to secure the data. Whatever information you will store in the system, that will be secured by the operating system. It's a duty, it's a responsibility of the operating system to secure the data. It will give you security mechanism to protect your system, to protect your information, to protect your data. Next, we have maintaining the internal clock of the system. Student, if you will recall, once you start working with the system, on taskbar you will see the right corner, you will get the clock of the system, where the time and calendar is given. That clock will be governed by the operating system. Once system will be get started, then that clock will be managed by the operating system. It will be automatically updated with the help of operating system. No need to update every time. It will be automatically updated. But once we will talk about the detail about the clock, in your system you will get there is one battery which works to maintain this clock. That is the internal parts of the system. So all are the functionality of the operating system. We have next one, that is called processor management. Processor management means whatever jobs you will provide to the system, whatever task you will give to the system, that will be governed by the processor. It means your processor will engage and the processor will process that job, and that job will come in the form of output. It means once it will be interpreted, once it will be processed, that will come in the form of meaningful information. So how the processor will be engaged with your task, how the processor will manage your job, how the processor will handle your task, that will be governed by the operating system. This is called processor management. And next one we have memory, storage and management. Of course, your information will be stored on memory. I have already discussed about the memory that is divided into two parts, primary memory and secondary memory. Now, your information will be stored on memory and that will be managed by the operating system. Next one, user interface. Student, we have two types of interface, that is your CUI